Afternoon, neighbors. I'm Anarchy in the 603, and this is another postcard from your friendly neighborhood anarchist. Nobody's favorite, quality free content delivered straight from my dome and dispatched from wherever I happen to be sitting at the moment. I don't know about you guys, but I have really been going through it this week between all the world events and a bunch of stuff happening at home. I mean, like, nothing terrible affecting me personally, but one of my housemates has really been going through it, and I'm basically their only family up here, so I've been acting as support while they're going through grippy sock vacation time. And everybody needs a reset every now and again. But while I've been running around, I've had a lot on my mind, and one of the things that's been just running around like a hamster on a wheel has been this. You guys, our president-elect is a felon. An actual, adjudicated felon, rapist, sexual assaulter, grifter, like, you name it. Aside from, as far as we know, murder, he hasn't done it. He's done, like about all the heinous crimes that he's been accused of, and goodness only knows then some. And it just reminds me so much. The president-elect reminds me so much of this time when I was 20 years old. And I was sitting in traffic court. Speeding ticket. I drive like definitely a native New Hampshire resident. Like, we've got a lead foot around here, and I got caught. So I go into the court to talk about my ticket because there was this whole anyway, there was a whole mess with the paperwork, but regardless, I'm there. All right. And there was this guy, and he was chinos, Oxford shirt, like open to here, gold chain, slicked back hair, far too tan, sitting with a girl who I would have assumed would have been his daughter, except for the proprietary way that he put his hand on his knee and around her shoulder, his hand on her knee and around her shoulders, and was kind of a little schmoozy with her. And I was like, just okay, so typical sugar daddy, little, in his sugar princess there situation. And I don't recall now which one of them it was that had been caught speeding at like 110 miles an hour in a 55, but he was like, oh, it's no big deal. I've got money. I'll just make this go away. I've got money. And that, in a nutshell, is our president-elect. Like, this man is, again, an adjudicated felon. Like, he has been sentenced in court, tried among a jury of his peers, and found guilty on all those counts. Over 30 counts, right? And what does he get at his sentencing? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, we have states in this country. New Hampshire is not one of them. But there's more than one state in this country where if you have a felony record for anything, you can't even vote. And then in states like Florida, where they recently, the voters, the people spoke to say, you know what, that's kind of fucked up. We should re-enfranchise these felons who have paid their time. They went to prison. They did their fines. They paid their fines. They did their time. They did probation. They did community control. They did whatever they had to do. And they paid their time, but yet still they cannot vote. The people said, that's fucked up. Let's let them vote. So what happens? The state of Florida then goes about making it so Byzantine and difficult that there are people who genuinely thought they went through the right process to get their voting rights back and got arrested for voter fraud. But we're a country where the rule of law matters, apparently, allegedly. But it's only if you're poor. This is why I'm an anarchist, guys. Like, because you have enough money, you are above the law. Like right now, after the inauguration, this guy could literally murder someone. Literally murder someone, say that it was, it needed to be done because he's the president, and he's literally immune. That man literally will have the power over whatever he wants to do. It's not a crime. Meanwhile, we have people who've paid their price, literally paid their price, through the prison's industrial system, have had their lives irrevocably changed by, that's a hard one, irrevocably changed by the price that they had to pay for whatever it was they did. And a lot of times it's crimes of desperation, man. It's crimes of survival. Like, do you think that people would deliberately choose? Do you think I know people who once upon a time were gang affiliated. I know people who once upon a time were drug traffickers and did extra legal activities. I mean, like, I know people who did this stuff once upon a time. I'm a former state social worker, like, people, you meet people, okay? And just going out into the world and conversing with everyone and treating everyone like they are human beings with just as rich and complex and difficult a life as mine, because that's what they are. You meet people, you get to know people, and I know people with records. And I tell you, if any single one of them woke up with the same fucking privileges as, like, your typical upper middle class kid who got to have, like, a Disney vacation every year and didn't have to worry too much about where college money came from, not a single one of them would have committed the crimes that they did. No one fucking wakes up and says, you know what? I fucking love the idea of being terrified every single day of my life and having to worry if today is going to be my last day. And, if I go around the wrong corner or knock on the wrong door, I am dead. No, people don't do that because, it sounds like it tickles, okay? But again, the rule of law only matters if you're poor. Everyone else is just an inconvenient fine. Like, the price of doing business in this country is weighing whether or not the crimes that you do against the environment and the people that live in and around your industry, if the fines that you have to pay for that are more than the profit that you would make from committing the crime, then only then do you not do the thing. Like, why is it that we should be expected to abide by the rule of law and we pay our taxes, we do the right thing, every single day we toe the line, and in the hope that maybe they will, it's not even that we can, maybe we'll achieve the American dream someday. Nowadays, it's more like, if we toe the line enough, maybe they won't take away our last chance at survival. If we toe the line enough, maybe we don't have to worry about what's going to happen to us when we get old. Like, I'm sick. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sick and tired of having my very existence, my rights, my survival held over my head like some sort of carrot, like, be a good girl and maybe you'll have the human right to food. Be a good girl and maybe you'll have the human right to shelter. Be a good girl and maybe you'll have the human right to enough income to, like, have some sort of dignity in your day-to-day life. Meanwhile, the president-elect can commit more crimes than, God, any half a dozen of the former incarcerated people that I worked with, You know, this one man's committed more crimes than any half a dozen of them combined, and he gets to be president, and it's cool. I got money, I can make it go away. Something's got to give, and the thing is, we keep on giving. You know, I still drive around in a place where I see fucking the occasional All Lives Matter sign. Like, yeah, this is some real All Lives Matter energy right here, you know, like, we have a guy in jail right now for slaying a healthcare CEO, and meanwhile, that company kills thousands daily. And the people die in, like, in jail. Now, mind you, there's a difference between jail and prison. Jail is where you go before sentencing. If you can't make bail, or if they find you too much of a threat to be out amongst the public, like if you're a alleged murderer. Prison is where you go after you've been sentenced, right? People die. Okay, if it's innocent until proven guilty, and yet people die in jail, again, like, yet we have an adjudicated felon as a president-elect. Like, does the law truly matter? Does everyone's lives really matter? Or are we all just like cogs and numbers and ants, expecting, hopefully, maybe if we're good enough and march in line long enough, we might get something? I don't know. I'm running out of steam here. I don't know where I'm going with this. Do I ever really know where I'm going with this? But anyway, if you're new here, welcome to the backyard. If you're not new here, thanks for sticking around. And I'm going to check you later. Stay strong out there, guys.